it worked out great. It's a really cohesive looking package that we're really proud of.
Fantastic. Greg with us today from Epic Tantrum. They join us live here in our broadcast. And with Epic Tantrum, tell me about the writing process, and is it a collaborative effort, or does one person write everything and everybody else goes, okay, how does this work?
Well, as I mentioned, when I joined, Peter and Paul had been writing most of the songs till that point. Now that it's a band, it's a very different process. So someone will come in with an idea, and we'll all start sort of, playing with the idea, and then eventually someone else will throw out something. It's much more of a collaborative process now. Usually the person who comes in with the initial idea, they get the final say on everything to try to make it, to make it work in without too many fights or anything. Not that there's ever really any fights, but but in general, basically the way the recording, the writing process goes is someone will come in with something that's really difficult to play. I'll bitch and moan, can't we make it more simple? And then they'll make it even more difficult, and then I break down in tears. So that's pretty much the process.
We've got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here in a broadcast, Greg from Epic Tantrum. And he joins us today via the magic of Skype. And with the music and everything you guys are doing, when all this is over with and we get back to Shenanigans USA and everybody stops going to venues and people start bitching about $5 covers and things like this, when do you guys get going again on tours and music and all these things?
Well, we had a record release show in New York City postponed, so that would probably be the first goal, is to reschedule that, even though it would be long after the record was released. But that's our first goal. We've already started working on new material, and I think everybody's right now is just sitting at home twiddling their thumbs, coming up with little ideas. And then when this is over, it's hard to make plans because no one knows when this is all going to be over. So,
Yep.
I think once we have a better idea of things, we'll start making more plans. But for now, it's all kind of up in the air. But like I said, our main goal is to get back and do that record release show in New York City that we had planned.
We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here in our broadcast. And Greg is with us, Epic Tantrum. So why Epic Tantrum? Tell me about the name and everything.
So there was a lot of trying to come up with a name, and it's a challenge trying to find a name that everybody agrees on. And it was just one of these things where a lot of names were being thrown around. Our drummer kept wanting the name Messiah and everything, and
that works.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't really, it didn't work. But my guess is we'll eventually have a song with Messiah in the name, just as a tribute to him. But I think Tantrum and Epic sort of were mentioned at different times, and basically, I was having a meltdown. As I said, I'm the brat in the band, and someone said, well, he's having a tantrum, and then someone said, no, this is an epic tantrum, and light bulbs went off, and that's where the band name came from. Now, I'll be completely frank, and I have told about 10 different stories on how the band name came about, so that's one of the more common ones that I tell, but there is no real brilliant story to it. That's just so I try to make it entertaining.
We've got a great guest with us today. Greg joins us from Epic Tantrum, and he's with us today here in our broadcast. And so, with the music and everything coming out, talk to me about your social media and some of the effects that it's had on the music and everything else.
Well, the music industry has changed so much in the past, 20 years, and even in the past few years, that this is really one of the best times ever for music, in my opinion. I know people talk about how horrible it is, but any band can release a record now, with tools. The barriers to entry are really low.
Yes.
So, like, take a band like us, where we recorded in our own studio. Our record sounds good. I mean, it sounds as good as something recorded in a big name studio. We were able to release the record, put it up on all the different streaming things, manufacture overseas. It's really easy to get the music out there, and there's a ton of people making great music right now. It's just hard to get discovered because there are so many people making great music right now. So it's a really exciting time, if you ask me, for music and independent music and musicians. And our hope is that by doing shows like this, people discover the band and the music and become fans. So to that end, we're on Facebook. We're putting posts up there. We're on different other social media sites. We're on Bandcamp, and we're just trying to spread the word as best we can, and hopefully get people to listen.
It is Greg from Epic Tantrum. He's with us today here on our broadcast. And I guess before I let you go, how do people buy your music, get your information, everything?
I have a question first.
Yes.
Why is the show called the Jiggy Jaguar Show?
Because I am Jiggy Jag.
Okay, but I know that. But you asked me where the name Epic Tantrum came from. Where did that name come from?
It was it's not a very interesting story, but I decided in high school that I was going to come up with everybody, they always say, well, you can't give yourself your own nickname, and I've never been one of those people that have been like, oh, okay. So I decided I wanted to be the Jaguar, and then there was this guy who is now actually a college basketball coach in Colorado by the name of Chad Klein. And he started referring to me as Jiggy Motherfucking Jaguar. And I'm like, well, I don't know if that would fit on a business card. So it just got shortened to Jiggy Jag. And then over the years, I became Jiggy Jag, Jigman Freud, Jigman Fraud at one point. I had a couple local band promoters refer to me as Jigman Fraud, Jignatius Jaguar. Let's see. My buddy Frank Catolo is the one that came up with Jigman Freud. He's the former writer to the Wolfman Jack radio program, of all things. So this story just gets even weirder and weirder.
Wow. All right. Well, if we ever need any derivatives of our name, I know who to call.
Yes. Frank will definitely hook you up.
Great. The best place to find us, like I said before, is at epictantrum.com, or you can find us on Facebook at Epic Tantrum Band. And there's a link on epictantrum.com to our store where you can buy a copy of the CD, or you can just go to any streaming platform like Spotify or Amazon or Deezer or any of those and listen. And you can even just go to YouTube, and there's a whole playlist of every song from the album, and you can go from the first one from track 1 to 19.
That's fantastic. Well, Greg, I appreciate you making time. Thanks for coming on, my friend.
Thank you for having us on, and thanks for the story about the name. We'll call you Jiggy Jaguar, not Jiggy Fraud or any of those other things.
Jiggy Jackass. There's been all sorts of fun ones. But I appreciate it, brother, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, man.
Thanks. Talk to you later. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. There he goes, Greg from Epic Tantrum. And that wraps it up here